And I've decided to go live because I'm going to show you what mental health illness looks like. And this is what it looks like. Looks like me. So I don't really know what I was going to say. I have no plans of what words I'm going to use. But I keep seeing Facebook statuses, especially after Australian Are You OK Day, where people are like, mental illness doesn't look like what you think it looks like. And it doesn't. Because anyone who meets me that doesn't know me, they'll be like, but you look great. You look happy. You're smiling. You walk into the place and you're like, hello, hello, hello. I was walking through Westlands today and some guys were selling, or not selling, trying to get donations for cancer council thing, for cancer. And they're like, oh, we'll stop you because you look friendly. And of course, I stopped to chat for a few minutes and they're just like, oh, you're really friendly. You're so friendly. And I was like, yeah, I am friendly. But it really occurred to me that no way would they have understood the mental trauma I've been through for the last few days. So they would never have known that I didn't sleep last night. They would never have known that took a lot of anxiety and a lot of pushing for me to even leave the house this morning. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Hi. Thanks for joining. Hi, Scott, Damon. How are you? Thanks, guys, for liking this stream and joining me for my chat. I guess I just wanted to talk about mental health because, okay, so about 10 years ago, I had a nervous breakdown and I spent a lot of years getting myself well and I got really, really, really well. But every now and then I get into a mental health slump and at the moment I'm in one. So I feel like my anxiety, I shouldn't use quotations, sorry, my anxiety disorder has come back and I'm in an anxious slump really badly. There's lots of triggers for mental health and I think that's the big thing about mental health is we all have different triggers. And so there are people like me who have a lot of physical triggers and also the cognitive triggers. Some people just have physical triggers, some people have just trauma, mental triggers, but we all tend to have a lot of different little triggers that make up what triggered our mental health disorder. So there's not a one answer fits all, but mental health doesn't look illnesses don't look the same on everyone. Oh my God, let's talk about it. I'm bipolar. Okay. Yes. Okay. Well, Skyheart, Damon. I hope I'm saying Damon right. And you have a small depression. Okay. Well done, you guys, for admitting that. So well done. Okay, probably why we've all become friends. It's amazing how souls connect. Hi, Arcane Amusement. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for joining. I just felt a need to go live and just sort of show a little bit about what mental health can look like. I remember after my nervous breakdown, so of course I went to a counsellor and I was very, very, very lucky that my husband's workplace at the time offered free counselling. So I knew I was getting sick. I joked about having panic attacks. I joked about having seasonal affective disorder. At the time, I was working full time, being a mum. I had fostered a child with additional needs. I was trying to be the perfect mum, the perfect wife, the perfect foster mum, the perfect worker. I was coaching netball at the time. I was trying to do everything and I thought I'd be fine. And then one day, something happened at work, which was my safe place because I worked at a kindy and kindy was great and I loved my job, loved my life. But one day something happened and I was stuck in the toilets crying for an hour and I actually couldn't come out of the toilets. And I realised I had a nervous breakdown, as they say. Hi, Dale Core. Thanks, everyone, for joining. While I go live about something quite important to me, but also something that I am very vocal about. Anyway, so when I had my nervous breakdown at work and realised, no, the crunch had come, I rang my husband and I said, know how your workplace offers free counselling? Can you please ring your boss and get me into a counsellor? And I was so lucky back then because I didn't have a phone counsellor. They actually paid for me to see a counsellor. So that was on a Monday morning, and I was very lucky to see a counsellor on the Wednesday. And I remember, like I said, this is what mental health really looks like. I remember driving to the counsellor and realising it was probably the first thing that I had done for myself selfishly for a long time. That in my mind, all I wanted to do was make everyone happy. I also have another condition, but I explained that I made a video. I will check out your video, Lisa, because it is hard to talk about. It is hard to talk about. I'm someone that I don't have taboos. Obviously, I am Pinky and I'm not ashamed, and that is who I am. So when I first went to the counsellor, one of the first things she said to me was, feel free to talk about your mental health conditions, because she said, if you had cancer, you would tell people. If you break your leg, you would tell people. If you went, whatever, you would tell people. But she also said, you will be amazed how many people are suffering and will understand. And she was actually right. So from that moment on, I actually talked about my mental health journey publicly on Facebook, because for me personally, talking about it with people gave me encouragement. I like when people ask how I am. I used to say words are like armor against my anxiety. So for me, being public was very important to me. I actually have a group on Facebook called Healing Mental Health, because I truly believe that mental health can be cured. I don't think it can be cured easily. I think most of us are given the wrong advice, and we don't understand all the triggers, that we don't understand that there's group hug. Thanks, Dale, and thanks for the heart. Thanks, everyone, for watching and joining in, because people do have issues. So, okay, so for someone like me, I had a generalized anxiety disorder, which meant I was anxious 24/7. Never had a break. Didn't actually understand what's happening to me mentally. Lisa, you actually will not scare people away. What I should say about talking about my mental health issues publicly is I never had I had one bad experience, sorry, but literally I live in a fairly small town where people know me, and people were amazing, and they are amazing. Literally, even if they don't understand mental health, they people will say to me, some people will say, I don't understand mental health, I've never felt anxious, they've never had those feelings, but they're standing there trying to understand what I'm saying. That is sympathy. Yes, we might not all be able to be empathetic. We might not know how something feels, but if you try and help someone, I don't know how it feels to have cancer. I have no idea. But I've watched enough, I've seen enough, I've read enough, that I can only imagine how awful chemotherapy is, and how sick these people get, and how mentally strained these people get. It's the same with mental health. Even if people have not suffered, they actually get it. Everyone knows how it feels to be anxious before they get on a plane. Everyone knows how it feels to have a bit of OCD, stress, anxiety. People do know. So people have had that feeling, and then I just tell them to times it by 1,000, and they will get it. People are actually amazing. I had talked about my mental health on Facebook for years. My whole journey is on Facebook. Every day I would talk about how I felt. I did have, luckily I had gotten a bit better by the time I had this comment. So I did only have one bad comment. A boss came to me one time and she said to me, I don't know if you should be talking about your mental health on Facebook, because, it could affect your job. At the time, I was working in a kindy. I was a support worker for children with additional needs. I got hours like working with behaviour management, children with autism, like I said, children with any additional needs. That was my job. So my boss says to me at the time, maybe you shouldn't talk about it, because, it could affect your work, even though it wasn't affecting my work there, just in general. She meant publicly. So I thought about it. And like I said, luckily I was a bit better then. Otherwise, she would have really put me in a tailspin. But I was a lot better then. And I thought about it. So I went back to her the next day and I said, thank you for giving me advice that you felt I would need. Like you meant it genuinely. I said, but the truth is, I would like to ask the question that if I had cancer and I was talking about cancer on Facebook, would you have given me the same advice? And she sort of, no. And I said, but I do appreciate you trying to protect me because she was. And I said, but what you've told me is, well, what I got from it was not that I should stop talking about my journey. I said, but what you've made me realise is there are people on Facebook that I shouldn't have. So I just went through and deleted every single person that had anything to do with kindies or schools from my Facebook list because I thought, you know what, they're the problem, not me. Because the truth is, I'm not ashamed. I am Pinky and I'm not ashamed. And the truth is, at the moment, I'm sick. And for me, it's really hard. It's really hard for me to admit that. Only not admit that. Okay, because when I first got sick and I had my nervous breakdown, I was so determined to heal myself. That's all I was going to do. And I did. I spent years getting well and I had a whole year of nothing. And then I did have a few years where I had slumps. But the truth is, I haven't healed myself as completely as I wanted because at the moment I'm sick and I'm feeling anxious and I don't know where it's come from. It's like, but it's also like I have all these tips. Like, so if you come to me with mental health disorder, I can tell you a million things to do to help you get well. And I've got them all. I know how to get myself well. But of course, the problem is when you're feeling anxious or depressed and you're feeling sick, the hardest thing to do is to do the things that make you feel well. So, yeah, I just wanted to put it out there on YouTube. You guys are right. Talking about it on YouTube is actually easier than Facebook for a lot of people because Facebook is full of trolls and stuff. Not my Facebook because, like I said, I've had amazing support. But for those that don't want to talk about it, you will actually have no idea how much you might inspire someone. So I remember after being sick for a few years, this beautiful girl come up to me. Yeah, she had it all together. She looked like she had it all together. Beautiful. She had money. She worked, all those things. All those things that look great. And she come up to me one night and she said to me, thank you for talking about your mental health on Facebook. Because she goes, people like you make it okay for the rest of us to suffer. And I understood what she said because I have a good life. I have this great husband. I have beautiful kids. I've got two stepsons that have been the most amazing children to me ever. They married women that have been the most amazing women to me. Like I have these, they gave me 4 children and then went on to have 4 kids, give me 4 grandkids. I have this beautiful daughter who has this beautiful partner. So that's 6 more kids in my life. And then they've now had a daughter. So I have this beautiful life. I'm smart. Oh, thanks, Lisa. That means a lot. It really means a lot to hear that. I'm smart. I've got a good life. If anyone's noticed in my guitar journey, I wrote a song and about my mental health, and that's what I say. I'm like, I had a good life. And I love who I am. So how did I get to this place? And today I'm just feeling a bit sad about it because I don't want to be sick. Hi, Jamie. How are you? You guys are making me feel amazing. So I'm actually someone, though, I can feel, yeah, I do want a hug. Thanks, Jamie. I'll take that hug. Thanks, guys, for being amazing. So like I said, when I started this, I didn't even know what I was going to say. Mostly I just wanted to say This is what mental health looks like. It just looks like this. Thanks, Sky Heart. You guys are all amazing too. For me, I find people a huge encouragement for me. Like I said, I speak about my anxiety. So the last few days at work, I've let my work team know that Jamie turns 18 tomorrow. Woohoo! Finally an adult. Hey, Jamie. Well, you know what? If you lived in my town, I'd buy you a drink, that's for sure, for turning 18. Good for you. Happy birthday. See, it's people that make me happy. So, yeah, the last few days at work, my workmates have been amazing. One of my, so I've been on antibiotics for this freaking tooth abscess thing that I had. I talked about it on a few videos back. As you can see, I've still got like a little bit of a lump and an infection. So I've been on antibiotics for quite a few weeks now. And one of my workmates reminded me that antibiotics affect gut health, of course, and gut health, as we all know, affects mental health. So I'm like, that's why I don't like being on antibiotics. But anyway, so my workmate has gone and made me some bone broth because bone broth will help fix my gut health. And I'm just like, that to me is amazing. And when I've gone to work the last few days, people are like, how are you? Yeah, hugs and making me feel really good and supported. And it's like, that's what the world's like. But I think that the more I give free hugs, yes, thanks, Jamie, love the hugs, because I hug everyone. I'm actually a bit pathetic with the hugs. Look, I literally only have to know you once. And the next time I meet you, I will hug you hello and hug you goodbye, because hugs, hugs are the best. So, yeah, so I just decided, I'm glad I went live now. I haven't felt good enough to go live on my guitar the last week or do any real videos. I've barely been looking at the sky, and for anyone that knows me knows I'm a sky watcher, and today it's a bit hard. So I was supposed to go to the next town with my husband, get it off your chest. My best friend has bad anxiety and had passed away. Oh, that's so sad, Lisa. Well done for being a good friend. And I would say to you and everyone else, when you don't know what to say to people that are suffering anything, I actually would say everything you say is good, because the intention behind your words is all that you feel. Hey, so when I'm feeling anxious, I don't care what you say to me. I just love the fact that you want to say something to me to help me, that I can see in your face or your words or whatever that you're trying to make me feel better. So I don't care what you say. It all helps. It really all helps. I've been probed by these guys in the sky. Sir Charles, I know, right? I have test anxiety. Jamie, all right, I really need to talk to you guys properly. All right. So, Sir Charles, I've been probed by those guys in the sky. So, anyone that has been paying attention knows I'm a sky watcher, and I definitely believe in aliens. I actually have a video of what I believe is an alien walking past my fence. I wonder I have anxiety. No, but maybe that's what this is. Maybe it's an implant. No, I think there's a lot going on in the sky that affects our mental health. I know that's going to make me sound even crazy, but you know what? I am crazy. I have a mental health disorder. That's my excuse. Test anxiety. Yeah, Sir Charles. Weiler's Alien Central too. Jamie, test anxiety. Do you know that is so real? I have all different anxieties, but one time I went to get my blood pressure tested, and you can actually get something called white coat anxiety, which means anytime a doctor tries to test my blood pressure, I actually come up as high blood pressure. So doctor actually had me wear like a blood pressure thing for 24 hours to test my blood pressure, and my blood pressure is amazing. But I have what's called white coat effect. So seriously, the second anyone with a white coat, like a doctor or nurse, tries to take my blood pressure, it skyrockets. So yeah, those test anxiety. I think people understand anxiety, because they all know what it feels like to have a test. They all know what it feels like to speak on stage. Everyone knows how scared they are to get on a plane. That's all anxiety. It's just that people with generalized anxiety like me feel like that 24/7. It's also, I guess, it's like feeling like you're going to jump from a plane all the time. But somebody else described anxiety like that you feel guilty all the time. It's like you just feel like everything you're doing is wrong. You're not doing anything right. Your timing's not right. You're not talking to people right. You're not doing the right things from people. So you have all this anxiety that literally tires you out. So instead of facing it and whatever, you just think, oh, fuck it, I'm going to go to bed. So I'll just spend the day in bed, which of course makes it worse. And that's why anxiety and depression are very, very coexistent. So I always say I suffered anxiety really, really badly. That was my issue. And I did have mild depression from that. Other people might have full-blown depression and then they get an mild anxiety disorder from that. Does that make sense? Bipolar is a different thing. Schizophrenia is a different thing. People get postnatal depression. People might just have phobias. Be like me, scared of birds. Full blown right here. So you get it. Hi, deep predict. That bloke. Thanks for joining. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm not ignoring your comments. I think I wanted to go live and be like, thank you for that hug. And just try and explain that this is what anxiety and mental health disorders look like. This is what mental health looks like. Looks like me, looks like you. My biggest concern at the moment is probably youth suicide. So people getting sicker and sicker. I have my own theories why the world is getting more mentally sick. Is it all the fluoride in our water? I'm just going to put it out there. Is it the electromagnets because we're all on Facebook and stuff all the time? Is it really these smart meters? Is it chemtrails? Is it GMO foods? You know, is it all the chemicals, all the poisons? For me, one of the biggest things that healed my anxiety disorder and depression was I actually cut out sugar, MSG. So I had to stop eating lollies. I had to stop eating absolutely all junk food. If I went and had McDonald's tonight for tea, which I wouldn't do, I will have a panic attack and anxiety for the next 3 days. So what does that tell you? So whatever is in McDonald's, I believe, for a lot of us is causing mental health. I have endometriosis. So that's like a hormonal issue, really. And so I was put on the pill at 17, a very strong pill. And when I went to my counsellor, the first thing she said, well, one of the first things she said was, are you on the pill? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, that's so bad. That's so bad for anxiety and mental health. But at the time, my endometriosis was, I had to have the pill to stop my endometriosis. So is it the pill? Are we poisoning ourselves with medication, with the chemicals? Like I said, GMO foods. I love sugar. You know what? And Jamie, if sugar doesn't affect you, you keep eating sugar. So I always say to people, like, if you love junk food, you know what? So did I until I got sick. And I must admit, I haven't been doing well for my mental health lately. I've been having a can of Coke every day for the last few months. And then just found out, literally in the last week, hang on. Oh, sorry. In the last week, that in most countries, if you have an energy drink or most coffee in energy drinks or Coke or all this stuff is actually synthetic coffee. That's right, synthetic, not real coffee. The only country in the world that can claim that their Coke does and none of their soft drinks have fake coffee is Japan. Yep. So what on earth is in our foods and poisons and in our world that is making us all sick? Because it's not just me, and our youth are getting sicker and sicker. People keep saying, oh, well, suicide's always been around. Yeah, it has. But kids are killing themselves more and more and more each day. We say it's because of bullying on social media. Yeah, that's a huge impact. That's a trigger. There's never just one trigger, and we really need to look at why, as an environment and a society, we are getting sicker with mental health. We're getting worse and worse. Now, Lisa, what you just said, you're on a high dose of medication and became suicidal. Okay, that's what worries me about medication. So I've never taken any medication. I am aware that some people have been medicated and healed themselves. So I'm not talking to you guys. But the truth is, most medication causes mental health issues. And I'm saying that publicly. So I had a friend, he broke up with his missus and he was very sad, and he has had certain mental health issues. He's like me, a bit of anxiety, a bit of, depression, whatever, like not minimizing what he went through. He's gone to counselors and stuff. So yeah, when he broke up with his girlfriend, he put him into a big slump. So he went to the doctor and the doctor put him on medication. So a few weeks later, I seen him and I'd never seen him like that. And I knew, I had this really awful feeling one night that he was going to kill himself, and he'd never been suicidal, nothing like that. He had kids that he loved, like, just that wouldn't have been his thought process. But I'd never seen him so mentally sick. Anyway, I couldn't sleep that night, so I just kept messaging him. I wanted, obviously, to catch up with him. I just couldn't sleep. Anyway, I feel glad that I was messaging him. I was getting these weird messages back. But anyway, he told me hours later that he had to keep walking because he was having suicidal thoughts, and he was just trying to walk and run away from those thoughts because he couldn't understand that. Yeah, yes, he was depressed and having issues, but he couldn't understand where the suicide thoughts come from. So I said, show me your medication. And I opened up his medication. Side effects. Number 1, can cause suicidal thoughts. So my friend, he had mental health issues and had gone to his doctor for depression, was prescribed a medicine where the very first side effect was suicidal thoughts. So I told some of my other friends and they went and took that medication off him. So I feel like if he had committed suicide at that time, it would have been his fault. It would have been the medication that made him do it. How does that make sense? Yeah, well done, Lisa. Like I said, I'm not going to tell people not to take any meds. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. But I truly believe that people can heal themselves. But you have to do like a million things to heal yourself, and that's what's hard. But I also think meds should only be used in conjunction with cognitive therapy. Cognitive therapy is a huge factor in helping mental health. It doesn't cure you on its own, but I think you have to look at your physical side, your mental side, and I do believe medication can be like a stopgap and really give you a bit of relief while you add all the other therapies to your life, and then all those other therapies will help. So I think we need to be taking magnesium, boosting our vitamin B. We need to be exercising. We need to be getting sun. We need to be cutting out all the GMO foods from our diet. And we need to be doing cognitive therapy. And we need to do all of those things at once for long enough until we get well. And I'm saying that while I'm feeling sick and I'm feeling too sick to do any of those things. So I get it. And I must admit, yesterday it did cross my mind. Should I just go get meds? Just to give me a break. But I'm not going to, because I have beaten this before and I'm going to beat it again. But yeah, I had to go live, I guess, just to let everyone know that this is how I'm feeling. This is how people are feeling. And yeah, people like me are going to rock up to work with a smile on my face and love every person I meet and enjoy my job. I'm going to rock up to a party and you're going to literally think I'm the most, what's the word? Extroverted person ever. And that's because I love people. You're going to see me in the street in my nice car, in my nice clothes, with my hair done and my makeup on, and you're going to think I'm fine. And you're literally going to have no idea the mental health issues I had just to get out of bed some days. So, yes, I just wanted to go live and let everyone know this is what mental health looks like. But for those that are suffering and are alone and think that no one will understand, there are people like me that are suffering too. We are suffering vocally. We are not suffering silently, that's for sure. And we're not ashamed. We're not ashamed of our mental health disorders. I'm proud. I'm proud of what I've gone through and I'm proud of what I've done. But yeah, I want you to know this is what mental health looks like. Thanks everyone for joining, and I love you all.